Hey, I am coming to you live from beautiful San Francisco. Well, actually, Berkeley, California. And today I'm really excited because I'm giving my first talk at the National Alliance for Mental Illness for friends and family of those who are sort of dealing with something that I've been on a journey for about the past 10 years. So, what I'm going to talk to them about tonight is what I'm going to talk to you about today. And that is just sort of my truth and my journey. And the title of the talk is Light is Both a Particle and a Wave. And so, what do I mean by that? I think oftentimes we go through, well, I'll just speak personally. A big part of my acceptance with bipolar 1 has been sort of knowing that the things that I experienced, the truths that I touched, the insights that I had are important. They're important to me, and they're significant in how I can sort of live my life and move forward on this journey. So when I was in triage in the hospital at Lenox Hill, and this for me, I was 25 years old, and this was the first time that I had had a sort of full-blown manic episode in the United States, where people who knew me, my family, my doctors, could tell that something was wrong. So I wound up in the hospital. The ambulance came and got me and took me to the hospital, and I sort of had these like delusions of grandeur. I remember being wheeled into the hospital, and I put a blanket over my head because I didn't want the paparazzi to know that I was going there. No, there's no paparazzi, so yeah. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but I mean, it's funny. So anyway, so when I was in the hospital, I very clearly remember one of the orderlies in triage, in his scrubs. He was this kind of older gentleman, burly man, and I looked at him, and he had like full on like Native American regalia, like a headdress and all these beautiful necklaces. And this is a world that I've always been attracted to and loved and sort of studied teachings of. When I was a kid, I would read pretty much any book I can get my hands on by Native American, in Native American literature. Alexi Sherman is one of my favorite authors. I totally like fangirled out. I've never gotten an autograph, but except for him. And Leslie Marmon Sokol wrote my favorite book ever called Ceremony. And so if you don't know these books, I highly recommend them. Obviously, they're like my heart. So anyway, so I was in the triage, and I saw this man. Well, I'm pretty sure he was mostly white. Maybe had a little native blood in him. And to my eyes, there he was in this full like headdress and stuff. And I thought that's what was there, right? So because at this point, clinically speaking, I have bipolar 1 with psychotic tendencies, which is really intense, right? I mean, you hear the word psychotic and, you think like axe murdering people. I don't think you necessarily think me. But I saw him, and because I didn't have full-blown hallucinations, like I wasn't seeing things that weren't there. I may have been hearing things that weren't there, but I was sort of embellishing on delusions, right? Delusions are technically, I'm not sure, but essentially it's like they're embellishing. I was embellishing on what was in front of me. So the man was there, but Indian headdress, probably no. So that's true. True. Everyone else didn't see that, but I saw that. So remember, light is a particle and a wave. So 10 years later, I'm in a different place. I'm very well supported with my doctors. I'm on a stable dose of medication, and I actually finally feel like myself again. Um, but light is a wave and a particle. So I personally cannot say, I choose not to say, it's just not in me to say that everything that I saw, i.e., that man with the headdress, was not on some level true. So, I mean, this is going to get far out there. But I'm not talking about like maybe in another dimension, maybe in a past life. These are, karmic and reincarnation, and all these things are a part of me and a part of how I view the world. I don't want to say a belief system, but it's just sort of what seems true with my foundation in Judaism, with my foundation in yoga. These are the things that I ground myself in, and these are the ways in which I see the world. So because light is a wave and a particle, I know that no, that man did not have that on. I know that to be true, but I also know that I saw it, and my experience of him is just as just as true, and that there's something there. So I think that one thing that is helpful is to sort of, when you call someone crazy, which I do, no, maybe that's not the way to look at it. I think there needs to be some support for and some validity given to the delusions, and this is maybe very controversial, to the delusions, hallucinations that people are seeing. I don't think they need to be weighted more than what we agree upon as reality, but I don't think they can be dismissed either. And I think doing that, dismissing that, or not even talking about those experiences, because they do seem so far and so far out there and so weird, unless you've experiencing something like that, is also maybe a disservice. Maybe you would learn something, and it's probably really hard. I mean, to sort of hear the delusions and the hallucinations that maybe got your loved one into trouble. But by not talking about it, it's almost like you're cutting off an important piece of them, of their potential healing, and of their incredible psyche and makeup, because our brains are just so fascinating. And for those of us whose brains work out of the box and in an extraordinary way, there is much to be learned, and there is much to be given and much to be offered. And I'm going to stop there for today. So remember, light is both a wave and a particle.